and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to do a Patreon Picks, which is where one of my patrons tells me what to listen to. No exemptions, no rules. They give me a song, and I check it out. Today's suggestion comes from Lawrence Flyerman. It says, have a go on Opeth Burden. I think going to love the structure and instrumentation on this track. Alright, so we've done Opeth before, and I'm interested in checking out what else they can do. I remember enjoying what they had to offer last time around. What is going on? All right. Very beautiful and atmospheric. Definitely has a tinge of sadness to it.
Once upon a time carried a burden inside.
Beautiful.
A broken rhyme I'd underline. There's an ocean of sorrow in you.
This is not anything that I remember Opeth being like. I love those little stings that are showing up throughout this track. Really cool counterpoint going on between the lead guitar and the singer. I thought that was the guitar, but I think that was a keyboard. I don't know, I'm having a hard time telling the keyboard and the guitar apart. Very interesting. Nice harmonizing on that across multiple instruments. It's kind of weird how free the rest of the song is, but the drums give it this hard, like chopped up feel just because of the snare, I think. Like when I listen to the drums, it's rigid, but when I listen to everything else, I get this like legato freeness to it. Beautiful lead trade-offs here. On a feeling to me of fatigue in this song. Just kind of overwhelmed. Beautiful. That picking was nice. All right, so I just want to talk about that outro a little bit. Um, it started out with the guitar being completely in tuned and a rather beautiful melody, and it seems like over time this person replayed the same uh, melodic idea over and over and over, like 7 or 8 times maybe, but it feels like somebody else was down tuning the strings one by one, or maybe just slowly down tuning them. And with each repetition of the phrase, we got a version of the phrase that was more and more dissonant, um, and just not working well together at all. We started off with small dissonance. It was, just a little bit out of tune, and then we reached, half steps and then whole steps, and then we ended up with a melody that sounded extremely sinister, and it ends with, it sounded like laughing, and that sort of transitioned into a metronome to me. I don't know if it was supposed to be a metronome, but sounds like uh, it sounded like it was pretty much in time with that ending melody line on the classical guitar. So But I think it's really interesting. The song to me, it's called Burden, and it has an oppressive feel to it. A little bit cyclical in nature. There's a lot of similarities between all the sections. The song doesn't really go anywhere in particular, but it kind of does a lot standing in one place. Um, you can kind of hear a lot of that in the chord progression. The chord progression actually doesn't progress very much throughout the track. We see um, a lot of the same chords show up throughout the entire song. It's a song that doesn't really move anywhere on the chords, and a lot of the momentum is handled by the the playing. You know, the solos have forward momentum, but they always resolve where they start. It's very cyclical. Um, and I think a lot of it is just this burden, whatever burden is weighing down the lead, the character in the story. I was going to say the lead singer, but the whatever the story is about, the character has a burden that's weighing them down, and it's not allowing them to progress meaningfully um, in what maybe in a task or maybe in their life. They feel stuck in place no matter how much they push against it. And I think it's really interesting that at the end we see this kind of work musically where we have a character, we can call it that melodic idea, that melodic phrase that is repeated in the end. That could be our character. And even though they continue to move, it's not a slow moving melody. It's there's a lot of momentum in there. There's a lot of things going on. Um, it's not really going anywhere, but the weight of this burden continues to pull it down as the instrument gets down tuned, and eventually the weight transforms this beautiful melody into something sinister. And there's definitely an overarching theme in the music, I think, about how burden and unnecessary weight can transform even the most beautiful things into things that are not so beautiful, things that are sinister, things that are a twisted version of beauty, a twisted version of ego, a twisted version of self. Um, and I think a lot of this song has to deal with the repercussions of undue burden, especially of consistent undue burden. You know, if you can eventually get the task done that's weighed over you, or get past whatever is causing this weight, this downward force on you, then you can move on and move past it. But when you allow that stress to control your life for months, for years, for decades, and you never feel like you're going anywhere, it can definitely twist and contort a person. And I wonder if that is what this song is about. That's what I get out of it. It's a lot of running in place by, an immovable stress, an immovable burden, this weight that cannot, you can't, no matter how much you work against it, you can't get rid of it, but you can't live with it either. It is actively destroying you. And over time, it eventually destroys what is beautiful. And that's kind of what I get out of this track. I would definitely have to go check out the lyrics and see how it all lines up, but that's what I get out of it. And it's interesting that my remarks at the beginning of the song were stuff along the lines of beautiful, and I love that melody, and I love the way the instruments are working together, and it's just a really positive, atmosphere. The beginning of the song was gorgeous, and I stopped feeling that as the song moved on, even though there continued to be really nice melody lines, even though I really loved the way the guitars were working together, there was still this underlying aspect that was the beauty was being lost. It at the beginning, everything is perfect. Everything has this nice harmony to it. And by the end, elements have slowly lost that connection to that beauty, and they've become to be a bit more twisted, a bit less pure, so to speak. And by the end, the very last element of the song, the acoustic guitar playing by itself, has also lost its beauty. And yeah, that's what I get out of this track. I enjoyed this. This is not what I remember. I got to go back and listen to um the last Opeth song we did, because I don't remember anything like this, as far as Opeth goes. I don't remember disliking it. That probably means I enjoyed it on some level. I enjoy most stuff on some level. There's always something to kind of glean, um, from music, even the stuff I don't really like. There's always something positive to talk about. So, that kind of goes without saying. But anyways, I just don't remember. This doesn't sound like anything we've listened to yet. Um, so I got to go back and listen to the other Opeth and kind of see. I guess check out what albums these came off of, how much time was between these, and kind of see which way they evolved, if they went from one to another. Maybe I just got to rejog my memory. Maybe this is exactly what the other Opeth songs sound like. I don't know. But yeah, this was completely blew away my expectations. I had no idea it was going to be anything like this, and I enjoyed this. Like I said, there's some really strong compositional stuff going on in here. It's just a beautiful song from start to finish ish. Kind of beautiful at the end. Um, and I just think conceptually, thematically, it works very well. And Opeth should be very proud of this track. It's not always that you listen to music that just has a core idea and rings through on every single level. Like I said, I got to get into the lyrics and see how it all works there, but I can't believe that it wouldn't be the lyrics would be any less purposeful or done any less impactfully than the rest of the song has been. I mean, it was just there's so much that's just honed in on this track to create these emotions and these ideas and these themes that you know it all just kind of fits together too well to be an accident, and I can't imagine the lyrics would have been a misstep, although I suppose it could have been. It yeah, crazier things have happened. But yeah, so Lawrence, thank you so much for requesting this was a beautiful track. I really enjoyed it. And let me know down in the comments, everyone else, if you have heard of this before. I know Opeth is kind of a big band. They were highly requested before we got to them the first time, and they're still highly requested for me to return to. And yeah, so let me know if there's anything else I should be checking out from them, especially anything along the lines of this. Like I said, I gotta go rejog my memory, but I don't remember Opeth being like this. This is like a haunting beauty, really slow, really chill. So yeah, I dig a lot about what this song was about. And while you're down there in the comments, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you'd like, you can check out my Patreon or my Twitter. Patreon is how you can get into these Patreon picks videos and tell me exactly what you'd like. And yep, tomorrow we take a break. It's Sunday. Everybody can kind of recuperate. The new polls will be up for tomorrow for Patreon, so they can start voting on the next songs and next themes that we'll be doing. And we'll be back Monday with next week's theme of bands that I've heard of, stuff that I've not necessarily listened to, but maybe I know what genre they're from. Maybe friends have tried to introduce me to them and I've heard, snippets, stuff like that. Yeah, so very excited about that. We get to check out some bands that I've heard of, but never necessarily given the time to really check them out. So yeah, take a day off, enjoy yourself, maybe check out some of my other videos if you'd like. And we'll be back Monday, same time as usual, 5 p.m. Eastern Central, 9 p.m. GMT, whatever GMT is called these days. GMT got renamed to something, didn't it? I don't remember. Anyways, yep. And until then, you guys take care of yourself and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.